Hey everyone, it is your daily puzzle videos back again. We're once again going to do 2 daily puzzles in one day because yesterday was Easter Sunday. We had to take a rest in honor of, what holiday is Easter celebrating again? Because I certainly know it has nothing to do with the bunny that was hopping around my house hiding eggs. So anyway, no, seriously, happy Passover, Easter, everything. Go solve that one, go solve that one. 1, 2, solve them both if you haven't done it yet. Here we go. First one, we have Easter Sunday's mating puzzle, which I missed. I was out of the office as well. We have a mating technique that I see the answer to right away. We're gonna have to create an awkward situation with the king and the rook. In this kind of endgame, it's actually really important that you take advantage of the awkwardness in your opponent's position while it's still awkward. A lot of these endgames with a king, rook, and a pawn that's about to get a queen are draws. Like, if this position was already one where this black king was on g2 or h3, I'm pretty sure we're likely to see a draw because white's not going to be able to prevent the pawn from always threatening to queen with this king being so far away. So this is an instructive daily puzzle if you missed it, or even if you solved it and didn't get it right, or even if you did, don't underestimate that this seems like kind of awkward, and is it really that useful? It's very useful. Lots of endgames reach king and queen versus king and rook, and if your opponent has a couple pawns, if you don't stress urgency and taking advantage of your opponent's position while it's still awkward, you will miss that chance. By the way, you guys haven't said anything about my cat shirt today. Check me out. Check me out. Right? Let's go back to this just so you see the whole thing. Here you go. Check me out. Right? It's a chess shirt and a kitty cat shirt. Hashtag winning. Okay, here we go. It's going to be queen f1 check, and after rook g1, queen f3 check, and rook g2, the way what we do is we take advantage of the pin and we create this awkward zugzwang. And queen e4, by the way, is the only way to win in that position because it threatens queen to e1 checkmate after king to g1. You could move the king to f3 or c6, but then after king to g1 and you give some sort of check, the king's just going to get out. And I don't know, maybe some random series of checks, you can still have some winning chances. But again, that's the kind of position you want to avoid. You have to stress taking advantage of your opponent's position while it's awkward. That's the key. So let's get back to the beginning. And that's weird. These buttons just disappeared. But okay, we all see this. Queen f1 check, rook g1, queen f3 check, rook g2, queen e4 check, king g1, and then queen to e1 checkmate. That was your puzzle on Easter Sunday. Okay, we move immediately here to the puzzle today. It is announcing to us that we have a mate in 5. So that's always helpful. But let's see, I mean, I have forceful checks to consider. Bishop h5 check, bishop takes e6. Bishop takes e6 looks like the most obvious because it's a deflection tactic. After bishop takes e6, king takes e6, queen takes g8. The only move is king to e5. Rook to f5 check is what I would consider. The king can take on e4. Queen to g4 check. The king has to go to e3. But I don't see a mate there. The bishops guard all these things. I don't even know how many moves that was. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. King takes e4. Queen e6 check is also possible, which would force queen e5. And then we'd have one move for checkmate. Is there a checkmate in 1 in that position? I don't see it. I don't see a checkmate in 1 possibility. Bishop takes e6, king takes e6, queen takes g8, king to e5. That's been 2 moves. We have 3 more moves to mate. Queen to g3 check, king takes e4. Let's see. Doesn't look right. Chicka chicka boom boom, will there be enough room? Chicka chicka boom boom, will there be enough room? Can we checkmate the king? Bishop takes e6 check, king takes e6, queen takes g8 check, king to e5, rook to f5 check, king takes e4. This just seems like, I'm following this line again because the hierarchy, those are the moves that to me seem to give black the least amount of options. That's why I'm following through with that. So let's see here. Bishop takes e6, king takes e6, queen takes g8, king to e5, rook f5 check, king takes, queen to g4 check, king to e3, and then rook to d3 is mate, actually. That looks like it does the trick, because the queen on g4 guards the square e2. I like it. Bishop takes e6 check, queen takes g8 check, rook to f5 check, king takes e4, queen to g4 check, and then rook to d3 is the only mate and one in the position, and we have delivered the goods. I didn't even spend a lot of time considering other candidate moves. I think if I felt like I wasn't on the right track, I might do that for you guys, like considering bishop h5 check to start, or, you know, more moves other than rook to f5 check on the third move of the position. But the thing is, again, that, you know, we obviously have the advantage of we're solving a position where we know there must be something, or it wouldn't be in front of us, so of course we can't lie that that helps us. But the main thing is you're following through with moves that are requiring one option from your opponent, and not just one option because you think they only have one move, like it seems like they're best. I mean, like legally there's one move they can play, right? And that's easy chess. It's the same reason why a lot of practical advice we give for players when their opponent is under time pressure is don't always play the most obvious forcing move, because what's the easiest move to play when you don't have any time on the clock? The only move in the position, a forced move, and it sort of works against the natural intuition. You're like, oh, if he keeps having to find only forced moves, he's not going to be able to keep doing it under time pressure. Well, actually, no. He will be able to keep doing it under time pressure, because if he's close to your level, like, he'll be able to do it. It's just the brain is going to see the only option it has, and it's going to take it. I cannot tell you how many times I've blown winning positions against stronger players because I got a winning position and they were under time pressure, but I started like giving into that excitement and immaturity and played fast under time pressure, and they played the most logical best moves, and I wasn't playing necessarily the best move. I was playing the most obvious forcing move, and the position became unclear. Psychologically, it bothers you, and eventually you blow it. The best thing to do is to play a move in those situations that challenges your opponent to think creatively about the strategical nature of the position, the little things, and to choose the right plan. Anyway, that's sort of like practical bonus advice. Hashtag you're welcome. But as far as this goes here, you're going to follow through on the moves that leave your opponent the least legal amount of options before you give up. So I didn't need to consider other candidate moves because bishop takes e6, queen takes g8, rook f5, and then, okay, so there I considered queen e6 check, right, because I wasn't totally sure yet about queen g4. But once I saw queen g4, king e3, like, I mean, it's easy to follow through on that because there were no real options for your opponent. Wow, I really brought a lot of energy today. You know what it is? It's probably the shirt. It's probably the check me out. What is going on with my hair? This sort of haircut makes me look old and fat. When I have, like, old... It's like, this is how, like, mature men look. I need to go back to some, like, spicy Jimmy Neutron look. You know, something crazy. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway. Oops, there you go. Wrong one. Let me get back. I was born with a receding hairline. Not something I can really get away with at this point.